In today's and the following videos, we're going to be talking about the Dark Horse comic Ghost Prison. Now, it's an incredibly interesting series and follows the story of Imperial Officer Larita Torm, an assassination plot that nearly brought the Empire to collapse shortly after its founding, and it really highlights Darth Vader's brutality. So, let's continue. We start on Coruscant, months after Sidious's declaration of the New Order crowning himself Emperor, with thousands of cadets being presented to Headmaster Gentis as well as Sidious himself. Gentis was a Clone Wars war hero and overseer of the Imperial Academies. Torm is taken to the front due to his place as valedictorian and commended personally by Gentis for his hard work. That night, Torm and his two classmates, Ensign Carl and Shenz, find themselves at an after party in a luxurious apartment celebrating their graduation. Torm feels out of place around Coruscant's elite. Later, Headmaster Gentis meets the trio and gives Torm his first orders. He'll be serving under Grand Moff Tarkin's fleet, working on a classified project. He's then ordered Ensign Shenz and Carl to keep Torm safe. Later that night, the Ensigns lure Torm away to the government district, claiming that they paid some security guards to give them access to the new prototype TIE fighters. Knowing that Torm had always wanted to be a starfighter pilot, he reluctantly gets inside the small cockpit. Once inside, he realises the fighter is non-functional and the hatch locks shut. Carl and Shen apologise. "You can slip out by sunrise. It should all be over by then." Torm, panicking that he would lose his new rank due to his insubordination, takes a risk, choosing to launch the TIE fighter's ejector seat. As he plummets to the lowest levels of the government districts, explosions begin. First the officers' club, then the stormtrooper garrison, followed by the supply depot. Coruscant was under attack. Landing in the Imperial Plaza where his graduation had happened, a huge battle was underway. Stormtrooper garrisons were being overwhelmed by legions of mysterious armoured troops. Then, Vader arrived. Ripping through the wall of the Imperial Palace brandishing his lightsaber, he made short work of the attackers. Torm, like all officers, had heard the stories of the Emperor's enforcer, how he murdered his own men for his pleasure. But Torm only saw how serving a man like the fearsome Dark Lord could get him what every Imperial needed: fear and respect. Joining Vader's attack, the Imperials forced the foes into a retreat. Vader pursued, throwing pieces of rubble, obliterating the fleeing troops. A masked attacker begged from under a piece of rubble, crying for help. Torm approached, removing his mask to find Ensign Shenz. "You can help us kill the Emperor." Shenz explained the coup. Headmaster Gentis had orchestrated the attack on Coruscant to kill Sidious, being tired of having his men who he trained sent to their deaths. The officers at the graduation offered the perfect disguise for the attack. However, Torm was never recruited, as he'd always draw too much attention. Shenz pleaded with him to join them, to turn and kill Vader, who had broken off his pursuit and was standing behind him. "You should have asked me yesterday." He fired his blaster, killing his former classmate. Vader ordered Torm to accompany him in securing the Imperial Palace, but as they reached the entrance, a green explosion burst from the higher levels. Stormtroopers and officers came fleeing out, begging for Vader to save them.
"I can't. You have already given your lives for the Empire."
The explosion was a bomb holding the toxic gas known as RF-6, which once inhaled would liquefy the insides of the host. Vader's suit protected him, and Torm was wearing his rebreather from the TIE fighter ejection, saving them both from this agonizing death. The two entered Sidious's throne room to find the Sith Lord hunched over. The toxin had seeped into his body, however the Force was preserving him for now. The cybernetic Moff Tractor enters.
"What have you done?"
"Stand down, Lord Vader. I am not the enemy and you are wasting time. We need to get the Emperor into hiding now."
"The Emperor does not hide."
Tractor explains that Sidious is the only thing keeping the galaxy loyal. If he dies, more systems will flock to join Gentis. A barely conscious Sidious concurs and orders Vader to evacuate him to a place where he can recover. I found this to be incredibly interesting, as it highlights how Vader did have genuine concern for Sidious. This is likely due to how it was only months after the transformation, and he'd not yet begun to hate his new master yet. At this point, Sidious also knew that there was a great deal of systems who were not happy about his rise to power, which is why he was going to flee. At this point, he was still consolidating his empire. For this reason, he could not risk himself being captured or killed, as it would destroy all that he built so early on. Now, what do you think of the story of the Gentis coup, and do you think Sidious and Tractor's decision was wise? Also, please let me know if you enjoyed the different format of the video, as I really wanted to spruce things up for the new year. Now, there will be the rest of this story coming out over the next week, and I do hope you enjoy because it's really interesting. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, comment and sub if you did, as it's always really appreciated. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at The Lore Guy for regular updates. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.